what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media. I apologize for the late stream. Luckily, we were able to get a stream in. I drove down to California. I just arrived, and game was delayed, so I figured even though we only have about 15 minutes until kick, I should go live in case anyone is bored waiting for everything else to happen. But obviously, the Ravens are playing against the Chiefs. I just realized I'm not wearing my Ravens jersey, so let me get that on. Let's see here. I did pack it. Here it is. Oh, all right. Ravens jersey acquired. But just showed up. I'm going down for the Stanford Cal Poly game and also the Niners Jets game in San Francisco. But this game, Joshua's also held up, so we will be doing a post-game stream. This was more just wanted to get my bold prediction out there, talk about the season a little bit. But, you know, this game, I think the biggest key for success is the Ravens going to run the football. When I saw that there was rain, I got excited because that meant that it's harder to throw the football. You want to run the football. I'm going to get myself centered here. You want to run the football against the Chiefs. You want to give the ball to your, best offensive player outside quarterback, which is Derrick Henry. So the Ravens look like, they should have a chance in this game. Obviously, don't expect the defense to be overwhelmingly good. This is their first game under a new defensive coordinator. It's a couple of guys' first time starting in the NFL. So it's going to be really interesting to watch. One thing to keep an eye out on, looks like the offensive line is as follows: Ronnie, Voorhees, Linderbaum, Falele, and Patrick McCarry. One thing that I'm a little bit worried about is Chris Jones lining up across Daniel Falele. We're going to see how he does in that pass protection. He looked pretty good in pass protection. It's just the run game. He really struggles. So I would assume we're going to run a lot more to the left than to the right side because we have, Ronnie on the left and Voorhees, who's at least really strong on the left side as well. But expect a heavy dose of Derrick Henry. Expect the Ravens to try and go out there and do what they should have done in the playoff game. Not necessarily win, but just go out there and run the football. But, overall, really excited for this game. Starting with my bold prediction, I'll go with the offense. I think that I think this is a big Zay Flowers game. I think Zay Flowers has 100 yards and a touchdown. I think he's got to be the most bitter, I think, of any Ravens player. He's probably the one that's the most ticked off because we saw it in the press conference. He was pissed about that fumble. He was pissed about, how he played. And he still didn't even have that bad of a game. He just had the fumble. But I think he's going to go out there. They don't have L'Jarius Sneed anymore. So it's really just Trent McDuffie. He's going to be shifting all around. And I think Zay Flowers is going to try and get his revenge. I don't necessarily think it's going to be, 14 catches, 100 yards. I think it could be, maybe 5-6 catches, but he just is able to take 140, 50 yards because of his after the catch ability. Obviously you guys let me know what your bold predictions are in the comments as well, but I think Zay Flowers has a big game, but I do think it's a heavy reliance on the run game. I think it would be kind of a boring bold prediction for me to go out there and say Derrick Henry has 100 yards rushing and a touchdown, because I think that's all, that's everybody's hope. Like, that's what we want to have happen. That's what the Ravens need to plan on happening, is just feeding him the rock the entire game. In terms of the defense, I'm going to say my bold prediction for the defense is that Nate Wiggins shuts down, right? Nate Wiggins does not struggle in his first game. He doesn't allow a big play or a touchdown. He might allow some catches, but I think Nate Wiggins will have a really good game, even though he's playing against, the best team in the NFL last year. A lot of people's best team in the NFL this year, playing against the best quarterback in the NFL, according to most people. So I think Nate Wiggins is going to show a lot of people, his speed is legit. His ball skills are legit. And he's just a fantastic football player. We see, says Bateman needs to show me something today. I think Bateman could have a really decent game as well. Again, having a really good game for these players doesn't mean 150 yards. Rashad Bateman, a really good game is 5 catches, 55 yards, right? Hitting him on the quick slants, hitting him on the outs, hitting him over the middle. He can do all of these things. He gets open. He has separation. We just got to find him. Lamar's got to look for him. And I'm excited to see how Lamar looks with his lost weight. He said he feels a lot better. I'm excited to watch that. He says he feels faster. He wants to run the football. KJ's in here. How's it going, KJ? We're just kind of doing quick preview of the game. Joshua and I will both be live for the post-game show. We were just both driving and like we both thought we were going to be home a lot sooner. And unfortunately traffic got in the way and we both ended up getting home. And Joshua, I don't even think he's home yet. But post-game show will happen. We're super excited for that. So make sure to come through to that. But this is kind of a last minute thing. Hybrid. I think so too. We have no idea what Todd Monken's going to call. Is he just going to go under center, handoffs to Derrick Henry? We're going to see a lot of pistol like we did with Greg Roman. How many looks are we seeing with Patrick Ricard, Derrick Henry in the backfield? These are all things that after week one, teams are going to know what the Ravens are trying to do. But this is really just, hey, this is our first game with these guys. The O-line's very different. The run game's going to be different. This is Todd Monken. He's had good running backs in the NFL. He's had Nick Chubb. He's had fantastic backs in his career. It's time for him to utilize the best running back he's ever had and see what he can do in terms of scheming him running. Because we know if the Ravens had Greg Roman, I don't want the Ravens to have Greg Roman. I don't like Greg Roman. But in terms of the run game, we know what we'd get, right? A lot of pistol, a lot of strong power, a lot of heavy downhill runs. Todd Monken might try and throw a lot of screens to Derrick Henry. He's very effective in the screen game. He might try and just get Derrick Henry in space in order to make him have one-on-one situations with corners, with safeties, situations that he's more likely to win than maybe a D tackle like Chris Jones or a linebacker. So I'm pretty excited about all of that. And KJ does not appear that Roger will be starting. From what it looks like is Faalele right guard from the warmups. This is per Jeff Strebick and Jamison Hensley, but Makari at right tackle. Now it could be a situation like last year. I think week one against the Texans, Makari and Ronnie Stanley switched off drives. So that could happen with Roger Rosengarten. Not 100% sure, but initially it does not look like Roger is getting the nod. Hopefully it happens down the line. This is not something that worries me. The Ravens typically do not start their offensive lineman day one outside of the very high first round picks. Next up, JJ says Wiggins versus Worthy is going to be fun to watch. Absolutely. I think you guys know this. Xavier Worthy was my favorite receiver to watch in college last year. He wasn't my best receiver in college last year. I think he was top 5 or just outside my top 5 when I did my rankings. But I've been a huge fan of Xavier Worthy for 3 years. I wish him success in the NFL. I was really mad when he went to the Chiefs because I really wanted to, root for him every week. It's going to be really annoying because he's going to be catching a lot of deep balls. But that speed is legit. That's not just track speed. It shows when you were watching Texas. It showed. And Nate Wiggins also has excellent game speed and track speed. So that's going to be a matchup I'm excited to see. I'm also excited to see, is it just Wiggins on Xavier Worthy, or are we going to see Marlon on Xavier Worthy? Are we going to see Brandon Stevens? I hope we try and match up with speed, but at the same time, I kind of like Nate Wiggins on the outside. If we're dropping into cover 3, make sure nobody gets over the top Nate Wiggins, have Marlon in the slot, have Brandon Stevens as the other deep guy. I think that's kind of the move for this game. And then have Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams and Trenton Simpson and Roquan kind of all battling against Travis Kelce, because we can't forget about him. He's the one that had the most success against the Ravens, especially in the first half in that AFC Championship game. I'm rocking the Kyle Hamilton jersey, hoping that he can have a better first half than he did last time. Second half was fantastic, though. I think the Chiefs scored a touchdown on their first 2 drives against the Ravens. They didn't score a single touchdown after that. If anyone said that before the AFC Championship game, everyone would have thought the Ravens would win. But now we have a new defensive coordinator, new starting cornerback, a new starting linebacker next to Roquan Smith. We lost one of our top sack guys from last year. I think this defense got better, but I think it's also going to take time, right? Mike McDonald came in, and he was fantastic his rookie year. But the Ravens still had, monumental collapses. Remember that Miami game? Ravens blew a huge lead because players just didn't know the system necessarily as much. And we talked about that, hey, it's going to take time. It's going to take time with Zachary Orr. Luckily, he's been in the building. He knows what's going on. But don't be surprised if there are some miscommunications. The defense isn't looking as, good as we might hope. It's his first game as a DC, and he's going against, one of the best head coaches in NFL history. So, we can't really fault him if it doesn't go great. We just have to hope that the offense is able to tote the load, right? Monken's now in his second year. Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, they have that chemistry going for a year long. We have a healthy Mark Andrews. We know what Isaiah Likely can do now. We can utilize those sets. So super excited to see it happen. Going to make sure that the game didn't get delayed anymore. Pulling up Twitter. Does not look like it's gotten delayed anymore, which is pretty exciting. So Ravens football is coming in about 5 minutes. Does anyone have any last minute questions before we wrap up this stream? We'll do a full post game stream after the game, so don't worry about that. But I'm really excited. Wish I had gotten here a little bit earlier to do a longer pregame stream, but glad I was able to talk with you guys a little bit. I'll do a score prediction. I'm going to say I don't necessarily think the Ravens are going to win this one because of the new defensive coordinator. JJ, this would be fantastic. Score prediction, I'm going to go Chiefs 27, Ravens 26. That'll be my score prediction. Hopefully I'm wrong. But, I just feel like first game defensive coordinator is going to be really difficult. But, again, hoping they win. Hoping they come out there, take care of business. Lamar gets a touchdown. Derrick Henry gets a touchdown. Zay Flowers gets a touchdown. They go with that. KJ, I love your prediction. I think that's about the right scoring situation and things like that. But guys, thank you so much for coming through. Subscribe. Make sure to come back for the post game stream. It'll be a lot more official. I'll have my hat on and everything. But thank you guys so much, and I'll see all of you again after the game when hopefully the Ravens are 1-0. But we'll find out.